Yeah, but it couldn't get us up in time for the game.
No.
So
you go into LaGuardia?
We go in and out of LaGuardia. It's the only flight I can get. It's easier to go in and out of Hartford, but I couldn't get up there in time for the 2 o'clock game.
Welcome to Highlander Stadium, home of your Highland Park Scots. Special welcome tonight to Coach Derek Thompson. As coach of your Highland Park Scots, Coach Thompson, with his brother Ross, led the team to 10 state titles. Good to have you back, Coach. Today, your Highland Park Scots take on the Hebron Hawks, led by their head coach, Lyndon Carney. We thank you for attending today's game. The students, staff, and administration of both schools encourage you to support your team and respect your opponent. We'd like to congratulate the teams and coaches on their play today. Their hard work and effort demands everyone's respect. Fans, let's join together in good sportsmanship to make this a memorable event for these young competitors. Spectators are reminded to show respect for your school and your community while attending athletic events. Be positive in your actions in tonight's contest. Also, we want to remind you to stay off the field for your own safety and to always watch for stray balls and sticks during warm-ups and gameplay. Thank you for your cooperation.
ball. I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, come on, radio. No big deal. Okay.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your Highland Park Scots. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our great country, please remove your hats and rise to the playing of our national anthem. And now, starting for Highland Park today, between the pipes, number 16, Blake Jackson. Protecting the house are post defenders number 10, J.D. Pierce, number 36, Stafford Thompson, and number 5, Mason Carvajal. In midfield, we have number 3, Henry Lyon, number 19, Blake Sontag, and number 21, Max Bowden. Down low, listening to Gage tackling number 30, Warner Benz, number 4, Beckett Fail, and number 24, Ben Coates. Your Highland Park varsity goal team is led by head coach Spencer Parks, and assistant coaches Matt Reese, Nathan Lalaberte, and J.C. Higginbotham. Ladies and gentlemen, your Highland Park Scots are led by captains number 3, Henry Lyon, number 9, Hayes Hannon, number 10, J.D. Pierce, and number 16, Blake Jackson.
Of Hebron. This is Hebron's top team. They come in, I believe, as their first game of the season, much like Highland Park's first game, and it looks like we are underway. That's number 10, J.D. Pierce with the long pole taking the face-off. The near side wing is number 3, short stick defensive midi, sophomore Henry Leinart. And we've got number 9, the sophomore defensive midi, Hayes Hammock on the far side of the field. And we are officially underway. Ground ball battle won by Hebron on their opening possession. A successful clear. This is a new season for the Highland Park Scots varsity gold team. We've got a bunch of new players, freshmen, sophomores, a few juniors on the squad. So as the night goes on, we'll introduce you to all of the players, and you'll get to know them as the season moves along. That's number 3, Henry Leinart, chasing the ball. John McHugh, number 12. No, I'm sorry, that's Sebastian Gomez, number 12.
Shot out of bounds, possession Hebron.
With the ball. Hebron's working it around. Hayes Hammock out to meet him. J.D. Pierce with a nice slide there to close that window. Blake Jackson with the first save of the season. Highland Park defense looking stout here. He having difficulty getting into the front of the cage. A very good sign for the Highland Park Scots. Again, this is Hebron's number 1 team. They're a bunch of juniors, a bunch of seniors, a few sophomores, a couple of freshmen. And Highland Park's a much younger squad. So as you're going to see throughout the season on this gold team, they'll be outclassed physically in a lot of these matchups and are going to have to win the lacrosse games by out-lacrossing the opposing team as opposed to out-muscling. Hebron is changing out their midfield, getting some fresh legs in there. It's been a long possession, about a 2-minute possession here for Hebron to start the game. Highland Park elects to keep their number 1 defensive unit in. They do not follow out with the substitutions. That's Henry Leinart guarding the ball. Good slide by Hayes. Blake Jackson with another save. That is a shot clock reset. So in the Highland Park plays in the THSLL, which is the Texas High School Lacrosse League, and they follow pretty closely the college rules. So on a shot, if it hits the cage, which is the orange metal bars around the goal, or it hits the goalie, the shot clock resets to 80 seconds. And so that's what's happened here on the last couple of possessions. Another save there by Blake Jackson. That's 3 saves on the evening for Blake. Good ball reversal here. Highland Park looks to clear. Up there to Henry. Henry over into the midfield, and the Highland Park Scots are in business for the first time in the 2026 season on the offensive zone. 24, Benjamin Coates out as your right-handed attackman. Number 21, Max Vogues, there as a midfielder on the coming across. Working down behind X, working on his number. That's number 4. That's Beckett Farrell. He's a freshman. Henry coming in on the right-hand dodge. Bounce shot just over the top. Good backup by Farrell here. He's got some speed coming up the right side. Looks to reverse it down. I'm sorry, that is number 19, Blake Sontag. We're going to get these numbers down. It's the first game for myself as well. I apologize about that. That was Blake Sontag who had those quick feet moving around the goal there. Looks like he'll be one to watch throughout the season. Number 7, Parker Arvizo out there to pick up the ball carrier. Parker's a short stick defensive midi. He's a freshman. Shot goes wide, misses the cage. No shot clock reset. 51 seconds left to go.
Out of bounds, possession.
Hebron, there's a trip, and that is a flag comes out. So there, unfortunately, Highland Park got their stick caught in the Hebron player's legs. They're going to get called for a trip. It looks like it's going to be a push. That is on J.D. Pierce. So in high school lacrosse and all lacrosse here, once a flag comes out, that'll be a 1-minute penalty. So J.D. is going to have to sit in the penalty box for 1 minute, and Highland Park will have to play with 5 men. Hebron will have 6. So you'll see Highland Park was playing a man-to-man defense. That was each man was guarding a player, and they would follow them throughout the field. Here you'll see they're set up in
30 seconds.
A 5 formation, much like you would see on a dice. And so each man is now in charge of a zone. And so you won't see the players following individual opponents, but you're going to see them guarding guys that come into their space. The idea here is Hebron's going to try and move the ball and get that zone moving to get an open shot. And Highland Park is going to try and move their feet and keep their shape so that they can keep their hands in front of all of the shooters. And there's a very good job. That was number 35 there. I don't have a 35 on my roster. We're going to have, no, that's 36. Stafford Thomason there. These numbers, I'm getting older, a little harder to read up here. But an excellent job there by Highland Park to get in those passing lanes. The penalty has been released, and we are now 6-on-6. So excellent job there by the Highland Park Scots. First penalty kill of the season. Lionard out to meet him. There's the help. Blake Jackson with another save. His 4th save of the game. Blake Jackson seems to really be seeing the ball well this evening. Great to see. Good sign for the Highland Park Scots. Blake, one of our captains here, junior captain, wearing the number 16 jersey, which has become familiar with the starting goaltenders on both A and the B team. Highland Park have a little trouble clearing the ball. Ground ball is down, still a loose ball. Highland Park is fighting for it. There's a scrum at the midfield line. Looks like Highland Park's come up with it, but can they get away? They do.
Loose ball, Highland Park is in.
That's number 30. That's Warner Binns over there on the right-hand side, eventually coming out with that ball, using his speed to get away from the defender and setting up the offense. This is 19, Blake Sontag over there to 25. Mason Mac Mason, excuse me, and Anthony Dewhurst, number 15 here, coming up the right-hand side. Here's Sontag coming back over to Dewhurst, who sends it down to number 4, Beckett Farrell. Freshman attackman coming around. So good shot, a good pass there by Anthony Dewhurst. Great movement by Beckett. And Highland Park Scots are on the board, 1-0. Number 44, Lawson Addison, here on the near side wing. If that's a familiar name, you may recognize Parker Addison as a staple here. His older brother in the Highland Park program has since moved on to Jacksonville, but he's number 44 on the near side of the field. Always good when the siblings start coming through the program. J.D. Pierce in there causing havoc again with his long pole face-off and comes away with the ground ball. unable to get it back to Blake. Turnover Highland Park, and Hebron will have the offensive possession here behind the goal at what is known as the X position. That is behind the goal is when you hear somebody say take it to X, or they're running the offense through X, that means they're running the offense behind the goal. This is the X position here, working it around. Hebron seems to be in no rush here, picking their spots. That's number 35, coming down the right-hand side on an alley dodge. That's Aiden Sanchez, a midi junior, able to get the edge there on the right-hand dodge and was able to go over the top shoulder of Blake Jackson. So Blake seeing the ball great, but as lacrosse goes, you're not going to save them all. Certainly nothing to be ashamed at there. And it was a really good shot by Hebron. And we are tied up at 1 apiece. We got Parker Avizo here on the near side, and we've got Henry Leinhardt on the far side for the wings of the face-off. Possession won by Hebron. And they're moving it into the offensive zone. 34, I believe, is Mason Carbajal. Able to get the ball on the ground. Great ground ball there by number 10, J.D. Pierce. Secures it back to Blake, and Highland Park is going to see if they can clear the ball. To clear the ball means to get over the 50-yard line. There they go ahead and successfully clear the ball, get it into the offensive zone. And now you'll notice J.D. Pierce, he's a defender. He's going to move back to the defensive side of the field, and the attackmen are down here on the offensive side, and the midfielders will come onto the field. You play 6-on-6 here in lacrosse, and each team can only have 6 players on the offensive or 6 players on the defensive zone. So some of the players go back and forth. Some of them stay on the offense, some of them stay on the defense. Typically, your attackmen stay on offense, your defenders stay on the defensive side, and your midfielders will run back and forth. They're sort of the workhorses, moving the ball back and forth. And they will also get in, obviously, on the defensive plays and on the offensive side. That's Beckett. Farrell working the right side. Henry Leinhardt with the right-handed dodge. He's going to have a shot just over the top and wide. The backup is won by Beckett Farrell. So in lacrosse, when the shot goes out of bounds, it's the player who's closest to the ball when and where it goes out of bounds will retain possession. And in that case, it was Beckett Farrell. So right there, what happened is you got an 80-second shot clock. There was 1 second left on the shot clock. So instead of trying to get a bad shot and lead into a fast break, they threw it out of bounds to allow their offensive midfielders to get off the field, allow their defensive midfielders to get on the field and set up their defense and their ride, which in lacrosse, your ride is when you're trying to keep the team from getting the ball from the defensive side to the offensive side of the field. The attackmen go on the ride, try and get that ball back. Hebron successfully clears the ball, now in their offensive zone, working their offensive set. Hebron's been patient tonight in the offensive zone. Haven't been in a big rush, content to work the shot clock down. The shot clock's down to 35 seconds from 80. So again, they've taken about 50 seconds off this clock before they've really even got into their offensive set. And here they go, working from X behind the goal, bringing it up to 35 again, coming down the right-hand dodge, and through the legs of Blake Jackson. So we've got 2 goals here by Hebron, both of them by number 35, Aiden Sanchez, the midi, both of them coming down that right hash mark, and both shots coming from the 6 or 7 yard line. So I would suspect that our defensive coordinator, Coach Reese, and our head coach, Coach Parks will get the boys together between the first and the second quarter and talk about that and make a few adjustments there. Maybe look for a slide to come a little bit sooner. A slide means sending a second man to help. Or look to maybe pick up that man a little bit farther away from the goal to push him off of his dodge line and make him feel a little more uncomfortable. So we have a illegal procedure. So the Highland Park player dropped his stick. He got his stick knocked out of his hands. So lacrosse, if you get your stick knocked out of your hands, you're not allowed to make contact with another player. If you make contact with another player, it's called playing without your stick. It's a procedural violation. The whistle blows, and the ball is automatically awarded to the other team. So that's what happened there in that scrum. Here's Hayes. No, that is not Hayes. That is Parker Vizo out there applying strong pressure. Working on that ground ball out there, 45 yards from the field. Sebastian Gomez here to pick up. Mason Carbajal out to guard him. Hebron with good passing. The ball is down. Ground ball battle. And it looks like that's the end of the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter, we've got Hebron 2, Highland Park 1. Highland Park has done a good job on the face-offs. They're running probably 30-40% against the Hebron Hawks. You'd like to see them work that up a little bit, maybe 50%. They've gotten some really good shots there on the offensive zone. They look like they're comfortable as the players are starting to get developed into their roles, as their teammates are learning to see where they like their shots, how they like their passes. I would suspect that as the game goes along, we'll see the offense get a little more crisp. That ball will move a little bit faster as they get used to it. And then on the defensive end, I think that they've done well when they've gotten beaten on the dodge from a number of times from the X position. The slides have come really quickly. They've come to the body. They've dislodged the ball on a number of different plays. And it was really just those two alley dodgers running down the right-hand side that gave the Scots a little bit of trouble. And again, Coach Reese, the defensive coordinator, is a great coach, savvy player, had his collegiate career at the Naval Academy, was an outstanding LSM back in his time. Still looks like he could put it together on the PLL if he had a helmet and a stick. He's in fantastic shape. But I'm sure that he is down there talking to him. I can see him pretty animated down there. And so he'll get some of those slides corrected. Again, this is about a learning process on game one. Scotty's on the goal team here. This is their first game of the year. They're going to be working out some of their kinks, some of their jitters, and just some of their communication. So we'll take a 5-second break, and we'll be back as soon as the action ends. So we're back on the broadcast, and I want to apologize. My roster has got 2 number 12s, and I was calling John McHugh, Sebastian Gomez. So I apologize. That number 12 is John McHugh. John and I go way back, and I certainly should have known that. So my apologies to the McHugh family and to John. handed a roster with 2 12s on it, and it's makes it. I was going off the first 12, not the second 12. Here's 12 number 2, John McHugh out on the field.
Possession Hebron.
John's running LSM. LSM is a long stick midfielder, so they play with the long stick much like a defender, but they go off the field as soon as the defensive possession is over, so an offensive player can come on with a short stick. So each team typically tries to play with 4 players on defense with long poles and 2 of them with short poles. You'll see Hebron continues to attack the shorties, and those are the players with the short sticks. It's much easier to get a shot off when your defender has a 3-foot pole as opposed to a 6-foot pole. So again, here's them attacking the shorty. That's Hayes Hammock, number 9, short stick defensive midi, and Hebron just continues to work that ball around the perimeter, dodging hard. They're really setting up the right-handed dodgers. You can see every time they spin it around, here's another right-handed dodge going down the alley. So you can see that most of their offense is running in this counterclockwise motion as their right-handed players are running to their dominant right-hand side. Shot is blocked there by number 44. That's Lawson Addison. And here is Hayes coming across. Finds Benjamin Coates with the bounce shot off the post. Rebound in there for Beckett Farrell. Beckett seems to be really active on the offensive zone. He's moving well out of X. He's found a couple of rebounds. He's moved coming out of X with the ball on a couple of dodges. Certainly looks like someone here who the goal team may be relying on to create some offense and score some goals for them. So it's going to be fun to see him play this year. It's going to be fun to see how he develops, how the team uses him here early on. And there is another big right-hand dodge by number 7, A.J. Gray. A.J., a sophomore midfielder. But again, that is 3 goals for for the Hebron Hawks, all of them coming down that right-hand hash mark. So the Highland Park Scots are going to have to disrupt Hebron somehow, whether that's putting a body on them earlier, whether that's pushing them out of their comfort zone, whether that's sending over a slide earlier. We'll have to see, but Highland Park's going to need to address that at some point in order to help Blake out. Letting them continue to fire away on their strong hand from 7 or 8 yards is not going to be a great strategy here against the Hebron Hawks. Highland Park wins that face-off. Parker Avizo there, he's going to auto off. Offensive player will zip on. It looks like that is number 19, Lake Sontag, waiting to come in. This is Dewhurst running it around the right-hand side. Over there to Warner Binns. Warner, big left-handed attackman for us here. Here goes Sontag coming into the middle. Looking to roll back to Benjamin Coates. Ben Coates can really move. He's a jitterbug over there, and you can see him dodging, using that speed. Ben's over there to Dewhurst. Coming down there to Beckett. Over to Coates to Sontag. There's Henry Leinhart with the hitch. Thought about letting it go. Henry's got a big shot on the right-hand side. There's the roll back. Beckett looking for a cutter, wasn't able to find one. Wisely pulls it out. 6 seconds left. Henry Leinhart, 3, 2, 1. Ball is loose. And it looks like it's going to be awarded. That's a shot clock violation. And Hebron works to clear the ball. So good offensive possession in terms of movement, in terms of ball movement, in terms of player movement. Just unable to pull the trigger there at the end. Certainly would have loved to see a shot at the end, but not a completely unwasted offensive possession. A good use of passes, a good use of motion, and something that the coach would, there's a lot there to build on here throughout this game there. The coach is going to see some opportunities that maybe some boys could have taken a dodge off some of those passes and press the play a little bit. But again, it's early in the season, and the boys will start to work some of those kinks out. Defensively, the Highland Park Scots have been stout. They've been keeping their shape really well. It's just this right-handed dodge, and they're in position again, attacking the shorty down the right-hand dodge, and there's number 4 of the game. It's second for AJ. I believe that was AJ Gray there. I think that was number 7.
Hebron, goal.
So that was, excuse me, that was number 9. That was Jake Lundy, junior midi. Jake Lundy there with that dodge coming down the right-hand side. So again, it's not, this Hebron offense isn't overly complicated. It's simply getting the ball to a dodger at the top right there, that hash mark going against a short stick, and trying to beat Blake Jackson with speed. So Hebron wins that face-off and throws it away. It's a good check there. John McHugh was in that mix. Highland Park reverses the ball there. Midfielder there in the middle, coming across, successful clear. Ball is down. And Hebron looks like they may have
out of bounds, possession back.
Mason Carbajal there was picking it up. Looks like he's going to swing the ball there to the opposite side. And Highland Park works it up, gets it up to their short stick, 21, Max Bogues. Sends it over to J.D. Pierce, successfully brings it up to the 30-yard line, dials it down safely into Warner Bins. That's a good place to put the ball. And Highland Park is into their offense here with 50 seconds to go in the shot clock. That's Mac Mason, number 25 there at the ball, reversing it over. Blake, number 19, working that left side. A good swim dodge there. The underhand shot doesn't get through. And there's going to be another trip. That's Highland Park. Flag on Highland Park. So if they get the ball, it'll be blown dead. They are not able to come up with the ball, so it's going to be a free possession for Hebron. So what's going to happen here is Hebron is going to get to run this possession out until they either score, or the ball goes out of bounds, or Highland Park gets the ball. If the ball goes out of bounds or Highland Park gets the ball, then they're going to enforce that penalty, the flag down. They'll see if they call it a trip or a push. And if Hebron scores here, that flag will get wiped off and they'll go straight to a face-off. So they refer to this as a free play because Hebron's going to get an offensive go at this, and they're going to get the ball back pretty much no matter what unless they score. So again, Hebron patiently working it around the outside, sending it up to the right-hand side. 40 seconds left in the shot clock. As they continue to spin the ball around. This is AJ on the right, and it looks like they're going to let him dodge, and he's up against the shorty again, coming down the right-hand side, finds the middle. The slide came early there. John McHugh with an excellent slide. Looks like Highland Park has seen enough of that right-hand dodge, and they've sent John McHugh early. He was able to force the ball out of the Dodgers' hands and Highland Park was able to recover. Shot and saved by Blake Jackson. So much better defensive possession there. Looks like Coach Reese may have made some adjustments there. It looks like Highland Park, to start with on this big right-hand dodge down the alleyway, is going to start to send a slide package, a defender from the inside, slide him out, and force Hebron to make that pass and make somebody else shoot there. So we have got a penalty from that kind of loose ball there. And so Hebron is up 6 men to 5. Highland Park here able to successfully fend off the man down disadvantage earlier in the game, and looking to do the same thing here as Hebron puts the ball on the ground, passes up to the top, and that is J.D. Pierce. Was able to corral that pass. That was John McHugh, I believe, who came up with that ground ball. And so Highland Park still only has 5 men. So Hebron has 6, Highland Park has 5. There's probably another 20 seconds or so on this penalty. So what you're going to see here is, ideally, you'll see Highland Park just running away from defenders with the ball. They're not going to look to score. They're simply trying to run the clock out, and they're trying to get this penalty released in terms of the time expiring on the penalty, so that their 6th man can come in. And here it is. So their 6th man has now come out of the box. He's on offense, and we're playing back to 6-on-6. A good pass there through the middle, just a little too hot for Beckett Farrell. Unable to kind of corral that and pop that in, and so Highland Park with the turnover. Hebron is pushing here, and looks like it's going to be a timeout. Hebron. So with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left in the second quarter, Hebron's going to take a timeout, and we're going to be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go for the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. Hebron with the ball. So they took a timeout. They've got 60 seconds on the shot clock. So typically what you'll see in this situation is the coach has a certain play that he has, a certain set that he wants to get involved in. That's AJ Gray there, big sophomore midi working down low. Spinning the ball around is Hebron coming into the middle on the left-hand side. Blake Jackson with another save, coming over the top. Ball is down, and Highland Park just unable to come up with that was Parker Aviza. That was just over the top of his head, but Highland Park was off to the races looking to push the action there, which seeing as they're grinding on their 6-on-6 sets, trying to push the action there, maybe getting a 4-on-3 fast break, not a bad idea. Blake Jackson just overthrew him by just half a step there. Here's Hebron continuing to work it. Finds it into the middle, just one pass too many for the Hebron player. That's going to be a pass. So that's going to be a Highland Park ball. So again, on a pass, it is not the first one to, or it's not the player nearest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. That's only a shot there. So the Hebron player was technically closer to the ball when it went out of bounds, but the referee ruled that that was a pass and not a shot. So it was a simple turnover for the Hebron Hawks. And the Highland Park Scots with an opportunity here with 30 seconds left in the half, 60 on the shot clock, so the shot clock is no longer in play here for the rest of the quarter. Sure would be nice for those Scotties to get one at halftime to cut this deficit down to 4-2. And there it is. That is Blake Sontag, who's got a little bit of shake over there. He's got some quick feet. He lost his defender and got his hands free and absolutely ripped one there into the bottom of the net. Announcer a few years ago used to say hands free and fingers on the trigger. I would believe that was Ben Cook, the broadcast here for quite a few years, was involved in the youth program, ran our youth program for a number of years, and used to always tell the guys to get their hands free, finger on the trigger, and let them rip. And that's exactly what Blake did there on that play. 6 seconds left for the quarter. Ball is down. Blake wisely scoops that up, throws it into the front field, and the Highland Park Scots able to cut this lead down to 2-4. So overall, really good showing for this Scots team. They're a really young team. We've got a number of freshmen, a number of sophomores on this team. You've got a lot of new guys playing new positions and new roles with new responsibilities. And so to have that sort of quarter there, that first half for the first game of the season, there's a lot to build on for this Gold team. There's a lot of positive aspects, and the boys are going to be feeling good in that locker room. They're going to come out knowing that they are right here with the Hebron Hawks in the second half, and this is anybody's ball game. So we're going to take a quick break here at halftime. We'll be back with about a minute before the game, or before the second half starts. So get yourself some popcorn and a soda. We're going to have a great second half here coming up in just about 9 minutes.
The Highland Park lacrosse program without these fine sponsors: JSX, Coates Homes, Sewell Automotive, Macaulay Bond, Vandalay Hospitality, Benchmark Title, Silky Homes, First Horizon, Allred Harris Wealth Management, Brooker Law, Jones Allen and Foodway LLP, Meadows Collier, Howard's Parks, Selling Shepherds, and Clay Cooley Automotive Group. We also thank the rest of this year's Champions Club supporters, including Kenneth Lucy, Hunter Lee, Jeff Brown, Dennis and Tanya Cleary, Andy Crossan, Peter Pencox, Cullen Thomason, Pete Chili, Miller Silver, James White, Greg Benz, Dustin Doolin, Alan Yearn, Tim Bowes, Anthony Rudder, Ian Faria, Fred Owens, Marcus and Christy Lyons, Jeff Beggars, Russell Mason, Maureen Masai, Brian Murphy, John Paul Mayer, Kate Hamlin, Chris Skill, John Walsh, Hongyi Nguyen, Mary Musa, Scott Blevins, Jeff Starr, Robert Bond, Andrew Sweetman, Colin Clark, Mark Schultz, Sean Hyman, Jeremy Gray, Mitch Myers, Drew Brandon, Peter Root, Tommy Shuey, Travis Whitten, James Thomason, Jamie Brodsky, and Chris Hicks. We also thank all our fans that came out to support Highland Park Lacrosse today. We hope you can join us for the entire season. We also thank our Lax girls for their spirit and support. Next weekend, Highland Park Lacrosse travels to Austin. Blue team plays Lake Travis at 2 p.m. Saturday and Austin High at noon on Sunday. Our gold team plays Lake Travis at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday. And just a little social media reminder, if you can't make a game in person, all varsity games are live streamed via Game On Sports. Also, don't forget to follow Highland Park Lacrosse on Instagram at HBLaxOfficial, on Twitter at HBLax, and find me on Facebook at Highland Park Lacrosse.
Right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we got about 2 minutes until the start of the third quarter. Your Hebron Hawks are 4. Your Highland Park Scots are 2. Overall, a very positive game here for the Highland Park Scots to start the season. Certainly a lot to build on there at halftime. A lot of good aspects, a lot of kids doing some really nice things there on the offensive and the defensive zone. The face-offs, we don't have a true face-off man yet here. It's been a little bit of a trial by committee in the first half. They've done well. I would suspect that it's more will emerge with the knack of those face-offs and start to take the ball over. It's been a little bit of a trial here. Baptism by fire to start the year. We'll see how that goes. Both goalies have been warming up during halftime, which is not unusual. Blake Jackson, fantastic. Especially backup goalie was freshman that name sounds familiar. It's because his brother was a fantastic face-off man here in Highland Park. Was those two boys, if they're here watching. Frank certainly may have this on TV up there at Hamden, watching his brother play goalie. Hope you've tuned in here, Frank. Good luck tomorrow against St. John's as the Bobcats at St. John's tomorrow. Good matchup there in the East. And it looks like the Highland Park Scots are ready to go. We've got Parker Visa here. Taking some of these face-offs in the first half and started doing really well. So he's going to get another shot at the face-off here to start the second half. John McHugh read an LSM on the near side of the field, and your short stick defensive midi on the far side. There is, as soon as I get his number, we'll announce him. 44. That's Lawson Addison there, looking to get on that ground ball. Unable to get on it. And Hebron able to break into the zone. Highland Park doing well to recover. And that ball is going to roll hard. So, kind of a physical first start to the game here. That's Addison picking up the ground ball. Able to get it safely over there. That's number 18. That's Jacob Musa in goal. So it looks like they're going to split time early in the season. Blake Jackson certainly did a fantastic job. Tip our hat to him in the goal. As I said, absolutely kept Highland Park in the game in the first quarter there. And looks like Jacob Musa is going to get the second half nod here in goal. Highland Park on the offensive zone. Pushing it around. This is Ben Coates. Anthony Dewhurst here at the top. Anthony, a big 6'4", right-handed midfielder coming down the right-hand side. Absolute cannon just over the top. Missed that goal by 3 inches. Was by the goalie before he was able to get his stick in the air. Coming up the right-hand hash is Beckett Farrell. Beckett working off of X there where he's pretty comfortable. Put a good shot on the goal.
Possession Hebron.
Unable to win the run out there. Hebron wins the run out, so it's their ball. Highland Park sets up their ride. Kind of a soft little zone ride here. You can see all of their players dropping to the 40 or near the 50 there, forcing an errant pass. Mason Carvajal sends it back to Jacob Musa. Over there to Stafford Thomason, who moves it up to Parker Visa. Parker brings it into the midfield. Parker's going to auto off here as a defensive midi. Got 21 Max Vogues on. You got 25 Mac Mason on. And you've got 19 Blake Sontag coming here with the ball. He's running into the left, comes back to the right, gets his hands free, and rips a nice shot. He goes high on the goalie. The goalie was able to see that. And we got a ride on here. Highland Park Scots absolutely forcing a turnover there. That was number 24. That was Ben Coates there with an absolute vicious ride, earning the Highland Park Scots another offensive opportunity. Coaches absolutely love to see that hustle, love to see that ride, love to see them get another offensive possession. Anthony Dewhurst getting his hands free. No, I'm sorry, that was Max Vogues. I thought that was Anthony Dewhurst. That was not. That was Max Vogues with a very athletic rollback. And I'll tell you what, Highland Park has come out to play in the second half. They are physical on the ride. They are causing a lot of problems here for the Hebron Hawks to start this second half, giving their offensive guys another possession. And so what this does is it does a couple of things here. One, it starts to tire the defense out. Playing defense over and over again, those legs get a little tired. But the other thing it does is it starts to give the offense an opportunity to get into rhythm. It's like playing basketball, and you're out there and you're taking 10 or 12 shots, and you're getting into a rhythm there. Jake Musa, number 18, with a beautiful save there. The Hebron Hawk came around X and was able to get his hands free. And Jacob Musa shut that door. We are offsides. So Highland Park had 7 players in the offensive zone. So we touched on that a little earlier in the broadcast, that you're going to have 6 players, 3 of them move kind of back and forth. So 3 stay on offense, 3 stay on defense. So there was just a little bit of miscommunication, and we ended up with 7 players on the offensive side of the field, as opposed to the required 6. So immediate whistle, and the ball gets awarded to the opposite team. So Hebron bringing it down behind X. Again, attacking the shorties relentlessly today. And you're going to notice that is going to be a common theme throughout the school year, or throughout the school season, that you're going to see our teams will attack the shorties. The shorties are the defenders, the 2 defenders with short sticks there. Just like this defender is attacking Hayes Hammett, number 9. But Jacob Musa absolutely sees that ball perfectly. A beautiful pass there by, I think that was 14 that got that ball up. I think it was Harrison Jackson that was able to get that ball up to the offensive player. Hebron was calling for a push there. You can't push a player in the back. So Highland Park had the ball. Hebron pushed us. And the referee saw it, called it, and that's why that play was whistled dead. And the ball was awarded back to the Highland Park Scots. Henry Leinart, 3, working down there to Warner Benz, I believe. Nope. Back up there by Sontag. Sends it down to Coates behind X. That's Warner Benz over there to number 3. Henry Leinart with a nice rip. And Hebron wins the run out. Ben Coates was close, thought he may have won that for the Scotties. Was not able to win the race there. Ball is down again. Highland Park Scott's ride is really tough. Doing a lot of good work. Mason Carvajal out there matching feet, looking good. Forcing the Hebron Hawk deep behind X. Good switch there. J.D. Pierce picks him up. Excellent communication by the Scotties there. Both Mason and J.D. switch men there seamlessly. And the Hawks are back to attacking the short sticks. That's number 3, Henry Leinart. Mason Carvajal out. J.D. Pierce. And John McHugh forces the pressure here. Loose ball. That's an over and back.
Over and back.
So you cannot throw the ball from the offensive zone to the defensive zone. The ball crosses the midfield line, which creates an over and back, much like basketball for those of you that are Mavericks fans. Same exact concept. Once it's been established into the offensive zone with less than 20 seconds left, or 20 seconds left on the shot clock, you can't move it back over to the midfield. We'll go through that here in a minute. But the Scotties applying a lot of pressure offensively. Sending it around. There's Benjamin Coates over to Warner Benz. Warner's going to work on the left side. He's got the shorty now. He wants to go to work. Coming top side. Bounce shot. Was able to get a good shot on the Hawks. The goalie was able to save that. Chucks it up for grabs there in the offensive zone. Ball is loose. And that's J.D. Pierce. The ground ball sends it up to. That is number 25. That's Mac Mason with the excellent handle there in the defensive zone. And able to get the clear. And the Highland Park Scots call timeout. So a lot of action there, but I was explaining a little bit of an over and back rule. So each team has an 80-second shot clock, and that starts from the moment the turnover happens or the ball goes out of bounds or the goalie gets the ball. So let's say the Highland Park Scots make a stop with the goalie, Jacob Musa currently. Their 80-second shot clock automatically begins to click. They have 20 seconds in order to get it over the midfield line. So they've got 20 seconds to get it over the midfield line. But if they get it over in 10 seconds, they can still run on both sides as long as they get back over onto their offensive zone in that 20 seconds. So then once the shot clock reaches 60 seconds, which is your 80 minus 20, and the shot clock then reaches 60 seconds, you're no longer allowed to bring that ball into the backfield. So at that point, once the ball is over the 50-yard line, it has to stay over the 50-yard line. If you throw it to a teammate who misses it and the ball ends up rolling past the 50-yard line, then that's referred to as an over and back. The whistle blows and the ball is awarded to the defensive team. So what you see a lot of times is as that ball is rolling towards the 50-yard line, your defenders will be reaching over that 50-yard line with their stick, and they're trying to back the ball down and keep it from crossing over that line. So those defenders can reach their stick over, ball players can reach their stick over, and they can touch the ball. And if they're able to stop it from going over the 50, then the ball is still in play. They just can't step over. So we'll see if we get that situation here later in the broadcast. We'll kind of point that out to you. But that is a long-winded version of the over and back move right now. The Highland Park Scots coming out of the timeout. Here, the coach is drawing up either a set, which would be kind of an offensive flow, not necessarily a play, or sometimes they draw up a specific play. And it looks like here they're looking to get Mac Mason here into some space on the left side. This is Anthony Dewhurst going against the shorty. He's going to roll back to his strong side, right-hand shot, and again up high on this Hebron Hawks. Ball is down. I thought maybe the goalie may have been inside the crease for goalie interference, but they did not. did not call that. A long pass by the Hebron Hawks. It's going to stay in bounds. Mason Carvajal unable to get that ground ball. So we talked about all this pressure that the Highland Park Scotties came out with to start this third quarter, and their vicious ride, and they were hard checks, and they were causing a lot of problems in the midfield. And what you're seeing the Hawks do now is they're just chucking it 60 yards into their offensive zone. They're not even trying to break the ride. They're just throwing the ball up in the 50-50 situation, hoping their guys are going to come up with it. So great sign for the Highland Park Scotties. They need to continue to keep that pressure on the ride, continue to keep that pressure when the ball gets turned over, and try to reward their offense some more opportunities, and that's exactly what they did there. That was an absolutely fantastic play by number 10, J.D. Pierce. And what happened there is that ball was being passed over to the Hebron Hawk, and J.D. was able to check that player's stick at the same time that he was looking to go get that ball. And so he was unable to reach out and get that ball. So really good play there by number 10, J.D. Pierce. So we've got a flag on the field here for the Hebron Hawks. The
slash on Hebron, 1 minute.
Call is a slash. So the Hebron Hawks player is in the box for 1 minute. Highland Park Scots now up players 6-5. So we're playing 6 on 5. This is referred to as a man-up opportunity. Highland Park's on the man-up. They have 6 players. Hebron has 5. And this is a great opportunity for Highland Park to score a goal and try and get back to within 1 in this game. So they're patiently working it around. Again, Hebron is into this zone. Highland Park is probing and pushing the zone. The idea is sending the ball right and left, trying to find a sweet spot. Anthony Dewhurst has absolutely got a cannon out there, number 15. May look for him to get a bounce shot here pretty soon. There's a pass coming. Highland Park very confident and patient in this man up. There's no reason to rush here. They got the wheel working. That's spinning the ball. Here he comes around. Ball is down. Should be a push on Hebron. It is not. But great ground ball there by Highland Park. Eventually picked up by Beckett Farrell. Three seconds left in the shot clock. They are saying that's a shot clock violation. So they were able to sneak around that edge and get it in the goal, but it was after that shot clock, so it doesn't count. Hebron coming, playing a little tic-tac-toe. Good recovery there by John McHugh. That pass just a little low. Able John to just have another half a second, was able to nicely recover and stop that offensive possession. Okay, we are offsides here, so we've got 7 players on the defensive end of the zone, or defensive end here. So the flag has come out, so that was 25. That was Mac Mason, and so he was going to come off the field, and the player said, hey, or the coach said, hey, you've already got the flag called on you. Stay on, and let's not let them score. So Hebron is playing with 6 offensive players. Highland Park currently has 7 defensive players. And Hebron seems content to just let the shot clock run out till the end of the quarter. Looks like they're going to let the quarter run out. So that's exactly what they do. They let the quarter run out. So to start the fourth quarter, what will happen is a penalty of being enforced. So there'll be no face-off. The Hebron Hawks will retain possession, so they'll start with the ball to start the fourth quarter. They'll have 6 offensive players, their full gamut of players, and the penalty will be enforced with one of our players in the penalty box, and the Highland Park Scots will have 5 defenders. So critical stop coming out for the Highland Park Scots. It's 4-2 currently. And Hebron's going to have an excellent opportunity offensively here to start the fourth quarter. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back when the action resumes here in just a moment.
Red Benz, Dustin Doolin, Alan Geary, Tim Bowden, Anthony Rudder, Ian Faria, Brett Owens, Marcus and Christy Lyon, Jeff Beggar, Russell Mason, Maureen Masai, Brian Murphy, John Paul Merritt, Kate Hamner, Chris Skip, John Walsh, Humphrey Lynn, Mary Musa, Scott Blevins, Jeff Starr, Robert Bond, Andrew Stevens, Colin Clark, Mark Schultz, Sean Hyman, Jeremy Gray.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have got 12 minutes of action. Here's the fourth quarter is about to begin. Again, the Hebron Hawks will be on the man-up opportunity. Jacob Musa, our freshman goalie, is in the goal. He's had a number of good stops there in the third quarter. Fantastic to see him sing the ball well. We've got number 36, Stafford Thomason. We've got John McKeown. We've got Mason Carbajal. We've got J.D. Pierce. And the man in the middle is number 3, Henry Leinart. So those are our 5 defenders for the Highland Park Scots. We've got a little bit out of shape there. Hebron not able to make a great pass there to the right-handed attackman down low, and Highland Park able to regain their shape, force that ball back out, and the Hebron Hawks reset. So it's a 30-second penalty. That has expired. Great job by the Highland Park Scots. And in comes our 6th defender. That is number 7, Parker Aviza. So we've got the 2 short sticks here are Henry Leinart and Parker Aviza. John McHugh is our LSM, number 12. And the Hebron Hawks are going to work. There's only 21 seconds left in the shot clock here. They're not sure quite where they want to go. They haven't got into a lot of rhythm. And it looks like it's going to be a one-on-one situation. Great job by Parker Aviza. Great pressure out there on that far side, forcing the turnover. And the Highland Park Scots are back in business here with the ball. Mason Carbajal here on the near side. Back to Jacob Musa. Over to Stafford Thomason, who's over there. Mason Carbajal sends it to the shorty. And Henry Leinart able to clear the ball successfully. So 50 seconds in the shot clock. Henry Leinart, a great two-way midi for the Highland Park Scots. Going to stay on offense after doing a fantastic job there on his short stick there on the man down situation. Warner Benz working it over there. Beckett Farrell sending it around. That's Max Vogue sending it, dodging on the right and sending it around. The ball is on the ground, scooped up, shot by Beckett Farrell, not able to put it in.
Shot by Beckett Farrell. Possession stays Highland Park.
Ball is on the ground. Hebron able to scoop it up. They've got numbers if they push. Over to the left side, and able to put one in over the top of Jacob Musa. So Highland Park Scots unable to successfully secure that loose ball, ground ball in the right corner. Led to a fast break by Hebron, who executed it very well. And they go up 5-2. Highland Park Scots here, down 3, 9:24 to go. Parker Avizo out to take the face. It's John McHugh and Addison over there as your wingers. Ball is down. And that's Addison coming up with the loose ball, big loose ball for the Highland Park Scots. 44 Addison coming up with a great ground ball. Lawson is a tremendous athlete, just like Parker was. It runs in that family, so great to see him out here as a freshman making contributions to the team. That's Anthony Dewhurst, number 15 in the game. Blake Sontag, working up top, was not able to get his hands free. Ball is down again. Anthony Dewhurst over there battling for the Highland Park Scots. Mac Mason almost came up, hustling all the way across the field, almost came up with that ground ball. Unable to do so there at the last minute. Turnover, Highland Park Scots. You can see some of the physicality starting to take a little bit of the toll on these Scots. Again, freshmen and sophomores out here playing against a lot of juniors, a lot of seniors, simply bigger and stronger boys, starting to lean on them a little bit, starting to win some of those ground balls. And this is when the execution and the training really comes into play. And you'll see as the season comes along that these Highland Park Scots are going to improve immensely throughout the season. For a lot of these boys that are freshmen, it's their first time that they're going to be practicing lacrosse 5 days a week in a team setting with excellent high-level coaches that know what they're doing, that understand how to develop players. And so you're really going to see, as the games progress, some of these mistakes, some of these loose balls start to get cleaned up. But that doesn't mean that the Scotties are going away here. Here's Mason Carbajal absolutely battling the Hebron Hawk and coming up with the loose ball. And that is absolutely a fantastic play there by Mason Carbajal. That was simply a mano-a-mano opportunity, and he came away with the ball. Great to see. These Scotties are not going away. There's a lot of fight in this goal team this year, and it's going to be a great, fun season to watch. And here they go, all coming down with a little bit of pep in their step, working up the right-hand side from the X position. Here's Max coming down, getting to his right-hand side. Looks like he's going to roll back into the middle. Good pass there into Warner Binns, who's just unable to finish it. Excellent offensive possession there. That's just what we're talking about with the Scotties, with the training and their execution. And these Scots had a really nice offensive possession. And Hebron there was able to get the ball into the midfield, and it went back in the backfield, but again, it was at 67 seconds in the shot clock, not at 60 seconds in the shot clock, so they're able to go back and then move the ball over into the front field there in time. So that is why that was not an over and back. We kind of went through that rule earlier. Hopefully I haven't confused all of you at home. Here come the Scotties, again, putting pressure out on these Hawks. The Scots have extended their defense all the way out to about 30 yards out. So you can see every player is on their man. Everyone is on an island here. These players, these coaches are asking these players to stay with their man, to run with them. There's not a lot of help, not a lot of close help there. You can see the slides are far apart. But this is simply a way to create pressure, and the Scotties get the ball back. Again, here the ball is loose. Mason Carbajal having a really nice fourth quarter here. So absolutely been a pleasure to watch him play defense tonight. And he comes up with another big ground ball into the middle, just behind Beckett there. That pass was the right idea. He was on the doorstep and just missed him by just a hair. Again, a little bit of execution down the stretch, but certainly love the fight in these Scotties. They're not going away. 4 minutes and 47 seconds left in the ball game. There's plenty of time in the lacrosse game. Long pass over the top, corralled in by the Hawks. And pressure again out here at the 40-yard line, extending all the way out. Here's J.D. Pierce pressing out, Mason Carbajal. And it looks like Hebron has seen enough of the turnover, seen enough of the pressure, and they've called timeout. That coach is probably going to look at devising a way to try and get the Highland Park players off of his players' hands. And typically that means putting the ball into your fastest player's hands and letting him go to the goal. So we had a little bit of a chess match here. We'll see what Highland Park dials up. You know, you could potentially go to a zone here and switch things up with 56 seconds left in the shot clock to stall some timeout, to throw the Hawks off to try and counter whatever play they are drawing up, or you can go ahead and play your aggressive man-to-man and continue to pin your ears back. So it'll be interesting to see what these two coaches dial up here at the return of the game, and we'll be back when the action starts. Back, and the Scotties are rolling out, getting ready to set up their defense. Hebron coming out as well with their offensive set in mind. Coach is giving last-minute instructions to the boys. For all of you watching at home, we've got a doubleheader coming up next Saturday. We've got the gold team taking on Lake Travis at 11:30, and the blue team taking on Lake Travis at 2 o'clock. Both of those will be broadcast by Game On Sports, brought to you by our title sponsor, Vista Bank. So here are the Scotties. They've chosen to come out and continue to put pressure on. Hebron looks like they are just going to try and run this much of this clock out as you can. We got a slash call there on Parker Avizo, number 7. Just got a little zealous there with the stick, trying to dislodge it out. Love the aggressiveness. Hayes Hammock following his man around. So the Hebron Hawks are going to run the shot clock out without a shot. And there it is. So there's 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the game. The flag came out, so there's a slash. Number 7, it looks like it'll be a 1-minute penalty. So Highland Park will be down a man with a minute penalty. So really kind of a tough spot here for the Scotties. They're going to be playing 5-on-6. Hebron, I would suspect, will spin this ball for the better part of a minute, and then probably just chuck that ball out of bounds and get their defensive personnel in, would be my guess. In fact, they may just go ahead and hold it here for a minute, and that's exactly what's happening here. They're going to make them come out and pressure them a little bit. Highland Park's going to put a little bit of token pressure on here, just to continue to make Hebron pass the ball in the hopes that pass comes down. There's Jacob Musa coming out, and he's got the ground ball. And Jacob Musa with a great play for the Highland Park Scots. Unable to get it to a teammate, and the ball gets on the ground, and the Hebron Hawks capitalize and put one on there. So excellent effort by the Scotties. Great play there by Jacob Musa, the freshman, just unable to get it to a teammate. Again, Highland Park was playing 5-on-6 there, so even when Jacob got the ball, it really was become a 6-on-6, and they double-teamed the ball back there, and there was just nowhere for him to go. Scotty's out to take the face. That's John McHugh, 12, and Addison are your two wingers. Avizo wins it going forward. The ball is up. There's a good check by John McHugh, dislodges the ball momentarily. Musa with another good stop. And that's another ground ball there. That's a good ground ball. Running down the right side. We'll check that number here in a second. That was an excellent ground ball. That was 10. That was J.D. Pierce with a really nice ground ball there. There's John McHugh banging heads like a couple of Rams out there with a big number 21. That's Michael Carney. He's a junior defenseman going to Albany. John McHugh didn't care, decided to have a little go at him and have some fun. John is known to never back down from anybody. Great LSM for the Highland Park Scots. Oh, good pass there. And number 24, that is Benjamin Coates getting that ball in. And I think that assist was 19. Is that Blake Sontag with the assist? I thought it was. May have. Again, I'm up here in the booth. Apparently, glasses may be around the corner in my future. I used to be able to pick these numbers out a little easier. Certainly, we'll get to know these players' gates here in a game or two, and we'll get this dialed in for you guys for the rest of the season. Scotty's continuing to put pressure on. That is Henry Leinart, the short stick out there. Seven, Parker Avizo, done an excellent job at the face-off X tonight. Looks like they may have found their potential face-off man for the season. Parker's done a really nice job. Looks to be a really hard-nosed, gritty, D-middy, likes to scrap it up in there, athletic, quick hands. Certainly looks like he's got a future in this sport. Going to be fun to watch him develop this year on the gold team. Henry playing both lacrosse and football, played basketball there for a while in middle school. Was a good hooper, was a running back for a number of years. There's Mason Carbajal, and all Mason has done this fourth quarter is make plays. It's hard to pick a single player out and say, oh, they were the player of the game. This is a team sport, but Mason Carbajal, number 34, we've called his name a lot on that defensive side of the ball. He's come up with a number of steals. Just played a really nice physical game there at that right bottom spot there, matching up with the Hebron's righty attackman. And there's Warner Binns with a big left-handed shot. And the Scotties come back and bring it in 6-4. So again, the offense continuing to play. The defense continuing to play, and there's absolutely a tremendous amount to build on for this Highland Park Gold team. And THSLL B Division better watch out. This is a bunch of freshmen here, a bunch of sophomores, younger players on this team, but they are coming to play this year, and they're going to be a joy to watch. Hebron wins the final face-off. Looks like that's going to be it for the evening. So once again, thank you everyone for coming to join us on this Game On broadcast brought to you by Visit Bank of Entrepreneurs. Bank of Entrepreneurs, your Highland Park Scots fall to Hebron Hawks 6-4. And we'll be back here in action Saturday against Lake Travis. Until then, have a wonderful week. We'll see you Saturday.
Thank you, Scots fans.
Yeah.